Kawasaki's KX250F is one of the most winning bikes in the AMA circuit. And for 2013, it won our 250 motocross shootout when it tied with the Honda for first place. For the 2014, Kawasaki hasn't rested on its laurels, and it's actually made some updates to this machine. First off, they added launch control, just like the 450. Press a button, and it retards the timing in first and second gear to allow more traction to the rear tire to get a better start off of slippery surfaces. Once you grab third gear, it shuts off and it's back to full ignition. Kawasaki's engineers also tuned the throttle body on this bike to give it a little bit more response off the bottom end from closed throttle. So as you come into a corner and you got the throttle closed and then you snap it on, it's going to be more responsive than the 2013 model. Additionally, inside the transmission, Kawasaki did some serious updates to smooth out the shifting and make a more positive feel on the shift lever for the rider. Now the frame on the 2014 is the same as the 2013, except that the front motor mounts are now 29% thinner to change up the flex feel of the bike, put more weight on the front end, and that should give a better feel to the rider as well. Now, they've also changed the settings in both the front and the rear suspension in the valving department just to make it all work together. That's pretty much it in the list of things that have been done to this bike. As you can hear, we're already starting to ride. It's time to get geared up and head out. Expecting to feel a little bit more difference in the bike than I did. That being said, I'm not a pro level rider, so I think for the pro level rider, maybe they would notice it more, but for me, it felt almost the same as last year's bike. I could tell a little bit that there was a bit more weight bias to the front, and I could really stick the front end in on rutted corners, but on flat corners, it seemed to kind of want to push a little bit. So I was kind of torn whether or not the handling was actually better. It's got probably the best motor in the 250 class. There's no doubt about it. Snappy power, as long as you keep it spinning, it goes. It's got enough to pull even my big ass over some of the jumps, which is really cool.
Through deep loam berms, it never bogged on me. I always was responsive when I hit that throttle, which was great. The dual injector seems to be working, and so you get in those loam berms and it would rip out. It was a ton of fun. In some sections of the track, the bike is still hard to shift under load, much like last year. I will say at half to quarter throttle, it does shift fairly smooth, but I think it could still use some room for improvement under high RPMs at 3/4 to full throttle.
So overall, I think the improvements are maybe minimal in terms of actually feeling the bike, but at the same time, it's the same bike that won our 250 shootout last year, so it's still a class leader.